Son, guess what? Me and your mother have decided to send you back in time to 2003 so you can relive the glory days. Yes, that's right, Blue. MegaMan Battle Network 3 Blue, that's correct. Alright, you get your bags. Me and your mother have some things planned, okay? So, what are we doing tonight? Come on, he's out. He's out for the... I'm gone for 6 games. Okay, be that way. You know what? Lan, I'm gonna go get some cigarettes. I'll be back. And some milk. With the upcoming release of the Battle Network Legacy Collection, I couldn't let this one be slept on by newcomers to the series. For those who have played the MegaMan Battle Network series, we all know that every Battle Network has their similarities, chip libraries and their varieties, certain exclusives for what game and what version you play, but what makes MegaMan Battle Network 3 stand out from the rest and slap as hard as it does? Well, these are things only in Battle Network 3. For starters, you get exclusive style changes. This reassures the player of the heavy drip potential in the game as an incentive to keep playing it, to grind and max out your drip or get a new one, like the exclusive ground style or shadow style. Some of you could argue that post-Battle Network 3 and the replacement of styles is overall better, and you're probably right. Or that in Battle Network 2 you get 2 styles. But we're talking about Battle Network 3, and what makes it different, and what's only in Battle Network 3, so let's stay focused here. I think you're losing track of the topic. You can even put this drip into effect. You can head over to Beach Street. You can hit on those hot waitresses outside if you really wanted to. Check your drip for a second. Say something out of pocket. And you never know, they might just respond back graciously and agree with your drip. Maybe even come home with you. Not that, Lan ever needs to sleep. This man is basically an adrenaline junkie. This guy can probably be up like 30 days straight without sleeping a wink. If his parents tell him to hit the sack, he's gonna hit it, but no parents around? That's a dangerous game for Lan Hikari. Another big, slept-on exclusive in this game is the gambling aspect of this game. You can gamble in Battle Network 3. Show me a more efficient way of making zennies in any other Battle Network game, and maybe I'll reconsider passing this crown down to 6. But... I think Capcom knew what they were doing. Half of you probably have gambling problems, and I don't blame you. This shit can get out of hand if you don't know when to stop. If you have a gambling problem, you know what to do. You know what to do. But you know what? When you have this many zennies, why the hell would you still want to save the world? Fuck that, dude. We can rule the world. We can run Higsby out of business. We can run World 3. Capcom, give us, instead of the Legacy Collection, give us the Lan Hikari project. Give us a story where Lan Hikari goes rogue, and we get to be the bad guy, and we get to do bad guy shit. Come on, Capcom, put out the Hikari X project. Let us get some of that. We appreciate the Legacy Collection, but let's get some Hikari X going on. Moving on to a fan favorite, and that's the M1 Grand Prix tournament. In Battle Network 3, we get that. We get that M1 Grand Prix tournament. And we also get a storyline. Don't worry, this is not Battle Network 4. Just kidding, Battle Network 4. We all love you. That was a lie. I love you. Most of the community hates you, but it's okay. This is the only Battle Network game that includes the M1 Grand Prix tournament. And I gotta say, the music for the event and the boss fights during the M1 Grand Prix just slaps harder than most tracks of the entire Battle Network series. And I know most of you veterans will probably agree with me here. You know what I'm talking about. Don't play with me. In no way am I saying, the rest of the games in the MegaMan Battle Network Legacy Collection are dog shit in comparison to MegaMan Battle Network 3. No way at all. But 3 just has a little bit of extra magic sprinkled on it that I think a lot of you may have missed the first time. For God's sakes, you get to see Mesa and Raul again. Mesa ain't even trying to sell us fish this time around. Mesa's just trying to battle in the M1 Grand Prix. This next exclusive really separates the men from the boys here. And that's the unique post-game that's a part of Battle Network 3. You get to fight Bass in just about every other Battle Network game, and I love fighting Bass. He's a fan favorite. Who doesn't love fighting Bass? But what other game includes fighting Serenade as a contender? The only other game that comes close to Battle Network 3's post-game is Battle Network 5, and the only reason I can say that is because Battle Network 5 has a set of time trials, just like Battle Network 3 does. I think you can only deem yourself a true veteran if you've 100%ed 3 and 5. Because I'll tell you what, those time trials, that's the road of the warrior. Okay, that's the road of the true NetOp. And if you can't pass that test, are you truly a Battle Network veteran? Can you truly deem yourself that? Battle Network community? Let's see what the comments have to say on that one. Let me get some fire out of you fellas. A lot of you Battle Network post-game veterans could argue that Battle Network 3's post-game may not be as exciting as, say, Battle Network 5 and 6. And I understand with newer games comes newer features and exclusivity and content. And I understand that in Battle Network 3, a lot of your post-game was kind of fixated on Secret Area, but a lot of you don't understand the tremendous amount of effort that went into Battle Network 3. The tremendous amount of effort that the devs put into Battle Network 3. You know, in Battle Network 3, you had to have a specific style just to complete your standard library. You know, not many people knew back then you had to have custom style to get Volcano, to get Lava Ball, Burning, or Big Wave. A lot of people playing Battle Network 3 in the day didn't understand after you beat Serenade, you had to, feed Bug Frag Trader 300. And to even trigger Base's event, you had to leave Secret Area just to come back in to trigger the event to fight him after you feed it one more last Bug Frag. Not everyone knew that after you had 5 stars, you could trigger the V5 Navi battles. This is the only Battle Network game that includes V5 Navi battles and V5 Navi chips. The only game that has a Giga Chip library of 20 and a Mega Chip library of 85. Yeah, Battle Network 6 has a standard library of 200, but who had it first? Battle Network 3 had a standard library of 200 first. The only game that has virus breeding chips. I'm genuinely curious as to how many of you knew about that stuff I just spoke about. Having custom style to obtain those 4 secret chips. Having to feed Bug Frag Trader 300, then leave Secret Area to come back in to trigger the event. About the V5 Navis after obtaining 5 stars. How many of you genuinely knew that before people actually released lengthy walkthroughs on GameFAQs? Let's be honest here. Probably not too many, but let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious. There's a lot of dudes who commented on the last MegaMan Battle Network Legacy Collection video I put out, and I appreciate all of you so much, but I want to know your knowledge. You guys have a lot to say about this collection, and it's really exciting, the things you have to say. But these are just the things that are only in Battle Network 3 in comparison to the rest of the games in the series. And some things I'm talking about here are only exclusive to Battle Network 3 Blue between the 2 versions. For example, in Battle Network 3 Blue versus Battle Network 3 White, you can actually battle Mr. Famous and his Net Navi Punk. In Mega Man Battle Network 3 White, you aren't able to battle Mr. Famous. It's funny because in Mega Man Battle Network 2 you can, and 5 you can, but I don't know why they didn't give White the option to.